Now then YouTube, it's me again. Now today's video is going to be, well, what should I title it? How to fix Xbox controllers your kids are destroyed. Yeah, something like that, that'll be the title. I've got 3 Xbox One controllers upstairs, all varying degrees of knackeredness. The kids have destroyed them. We got some damaged thumbsticks and shit. I don't have replacement thumbsticks. I'm hoping that I can find 2 thumbsticks out of 3 controllers and get one of them to fucking work at least. I did do a little testing on them, so I do know what's wrong with them. When I set the camera up and what have you, I'll show you the score Georgie doors before we start taking stuff apart. Now, this will involve some soldering and shit and what have you, so there will be some actual information here that'll help you, removing sticks, etc. and what have you. So yeah, might as well give it a watch. If not, like, don't. You wouldn't be here if you didn't need help. So right, bring you back as soon as I'm sorted out. Okay, 3 controllers in question. Dodgy right stick, dodgy right stick, 2 dodgy sticks, and a dodgy down button. This one has been bastardized in the past by myself, as you can tell by the odd pieces. Yeah, but now no longer works. This one, I believe I soldered in some brand new thumbsticks before, and I think my son destroyed it. And this one's my eldest son's. I think my youngest son destroyed this one as well. So let me get all set up. I think what I'm going to do is take these 2 apart, and I'm not sure, but I'm going to see if we can remove a left thumbstick from one of them to replace for a right thumbstick. Now, I'm not even sure if that's an actual thing or whether that can work. If not, I'm hoping there's either a potentiometer issue and I can steal one from another controller and hopefully fix that. We won't find out till they're apart. So let me get set up and then we'll show you how to do that. Oh no, I just broke my tripod. That bit was snapped off in the bottom of my camera and I just had to get a screwdriver and jam it in and force it out. Bugger. Hopefully there's enough threads there to still use it. Wasn't expecting that this morning. Okay, right, so I need a screwdriver. You might need one of these, I don't know if you can see that. You are going to need some special security bits. Let me get the biggest one I've got. Don't know if you can see that. It's like a star drive or Torx head with a little indentation in the middle, and that's a security type screw that Microsoft use. Now this one's too big, obviously. If I remember correctly, it's a T9 or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me just 8. I think this is the wrong one. Yep. Next one, which was a 9. It's a 9H in this. Yeah, I thought that was the right one. Right, I'm going to stick this one side for a minute. I'm going to concentrate on this. Shift that over there. Right. Oh, no back on this one already. To get these side pieces off, it's quite easy really. Yeah, there you go. And sort of pry it up a bit. As soon as you can get your fingernail underneath it or something, you can usually just wrench them off. There you go, like so, and then go. That's one off. Let's see the fatter groove this side. It's easier to get a tool in. But this is where you're going to find all the funk from your kids' hands, from where they don't clean their hands before they use the controller. So be prepared for a bit of muck out of there. Yeah, not so bad. Okay, I don't know how well you can see this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them fancy number 9 dodgy fucking screw things. Let's Whip these out. One. Two. Three. Get that brattle out of the way before I stab myself. I'll knock one out. And number 5. Alright, now these are the older revision of the Xbox One controller, and it's been a long time since I've looked at one of these because the kids now mostly have the newer version Xbox Series S and X. Oh, right. Now what I'm looking at is I'm looking to see whether these left and right sticks are the same and can be interchanged between either side. Does it matter where they go, really? I should have remembered this because I've soldered some in this one before, but it would appear they are the same both sides. So that means we will be harvesting the left stick from either this one or this one. I'm not sure which yet. And then implanting it on the right stick on this one. So that'd be pretty cool. Right, let me no, hang on. You need to see some more stuff first. Let's see about stripping this down a bit more. That's the back case off, just carefully lifts out like so. Now if I remember rightly, there's also yes, some connections. These are your rumble pack things, and these are connected directly to the board. You can change them by soldering and what have you, and there is a little connection here that needs disconnecting to disconnect from the other board. It's like I think it's like an aerial lead, like an RF signal lead or something. And then you've got some more little star drives, but I don't believe these are the security type, and they're quite tiny. So I can't really give you a size right this second. So I'm gonna grab whichever one I think looks about right, and then I can tell you once I've tested. Right, so that is a 6H. So there was a 9H and a 6H in my box, whatever that is. Yeah, so let's get to switching these and getting the rest of this control pad stripped down, because I need to be able to take it apart fully to apply heat with a soldering iron, to get all the old solder off, to then put the new thumbstick in, obviously. Right, I think, because this one's open, I think we're going to harvest the thumbstick out of this one for the red one. I think that's the plan for today. So that's what I'm going to do. I've just decided right this second. These screws are different than the other screws, but that's blatantly obvious when you look at them. So if you're the type of person who wants to keep them separate or whatever, you can do that. I just know what they are, so I'll know. Alright, we've got this bit of, I believe it's called Captain tape, that holds this little thing down. Now, you can pop these off usually with your fingernail, but I don't have any fingernails. Come on. There you go, and that pops off there. Don't know how well you can see that, how well you're in shot, yeah. That's very fiddly. Be very careful. Right, I believe this top piece now needs to be removed, if I remember correctly. No, I think I can slide this board out. There, which has now got both the thumbsticks on, which now I can see clearly is 100% they are the same. Right, so now am I going to pull this out completely, or can I manage this like this? I can probably manage that like this because I'm trying to harvest the... Oh, it's the left stick, so I'm upside down. Right, I want this stick. Oh, I confused myself for a second then. Yeah, right, so... Yeah, I can probably do this way up. Let me get me solder stuff sorted out and we'll bring you lot back. Okay, for this next piece you're going to need a soldering iron, which I've got sat here, carefully getting hot. It needs some solder with some lead in it. Some solder wick, or solder braid, whatever you want to call it. Now this is to wick out all the old solder, and what you do is you wick it onto this by heating it up, and it soaks it up, and then you cut it off and onto the next. I'm fairly certain this is the one that I repaired before, so I don't think I've got to tin these old connections because I think it's going to be this solder that I soldered it on with in the first place. We won't know that entirely until this soldering iron heats up and I can test that. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, fucking hell, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think there's 15 little connections that go to this bad boy. So, wish me luck. Make sure that's definitely the left stick. That's definitely the left stick. Right. Our soldering iron's feeling hot. Let's see if it's actually hot. Oh, and usually you should like keep your soldering iron all nice and clean and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't get down with that shit. Right. Let's try and wick it up. When you're placing the braid on your solder that you want to wick, and then stick the iron on top of that and just let it warm up, and it should wick away onto the braid. I don't know if you can see that, but as you see it is wicking the solder away, but not very successfully. I may need to add some more solder to it to sort it out. I don't think I have done these ones before, or it wasn't with this solder that I'm using now, which is what I suspected from the start. So seems I could be wrong, but we'll find that out shortly. It's only going to take a minute or two just to redo this. Now, I probably shouldn't be breathing this shit in, but it's not killed me yet, so. But I'd advise you don't copy what I do. Just blow it away a bit or something. Like so. Alright. This video is sponsored by Monster Mango Loco. It's not really, because Monster don't give a shit about me, but there you go. Right. Let's try this solder wick again. That's better. See how it's wicking better now? Don't know if that's too close because of the better solder. So I either didn't do this pad like I assumed I did, or I used different solder. And well, it would seem it was crap solder, but that's not the argument here in a minute. I need to nip that bit off. Where's my little scissors gone? That's flooded with solder. And that's all you do, you just nip it off and then you go again on the next piece. You do have to watch your fingers though. You will get burnt holding on to this solder wick because the heat will travel up it. I've just done that myself, low key just then. I was just trying not to show you that I burnt myself. I've been a bad man in this thing. Right, it's working better in some places than it is in others. Maybe I need to go back over a couple of bits with the better solder maybe. Yeah, some bits just don't seem to want to melt. Huh. Well, you've seen the technique. You've seen how I've got to do it. So I'll bring you back once I've done it, because you don't want to watch all this shit. Okay, so that was a lot fiddlier than I remember doing it last. Well, that's a thumbstick removed in its entirety. Potentiometer's a lot. Now, this is a good one from me testing this morning, as long as I remove the correct one. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the right hand one from the red controller, and then we're going to implant this in its place on there, and hopefully that's going to make a working controller. Right about now I'm going to clean up all the mess from this controller, put it all in a box or something or whatever. I'm going to get this controller taken apart. You've already watched one taken apart, so I'll get it all off and all stripped down and ready to the point where we're ready to put this new one on the thing. I'm going to put the new one over here so I can remember that's the new one and hopefully won't get confused, which is probably what's going to happen. Hold up, I remember this controller now. Red, red, black. White, black, red. I believe this one had a dodgy RB button before. It didn't seem to have it when we tested it earlier though. This might be a problem that might come back and bite me in the arse. Yeah, we'll see. Right, and that's the defective one off the red one. So now we've got to clean all this up a little bit, because we've got to be able to get all the prongs from this one back through in the correct places, and the prongs on this is a little bit bent. So what I suggest you do first, get yourself your solder braid again, a nice clean bit, and then find all your holes and then just run the solder braid over the top with the solder, fucking hell, solder braid in between the board and the soldering iron, and gently rub it backwards and forwards until all your holes are clear of solder. So that's nice, that's right. So we should be done with the solder braid now, unless of course obviously I make a mistake and I have to clean anything up, which is highly likely when it comes to soldering these. Right, let me chuck this in the bin before I get confused. This is the one we want. Now, I'm going to figure out which orientation it goes. So them two there, them three there. Right, we are really not lining up very well. I'm just going to have to caress some of these back into place as gently as you can. We might be able to work with that. We might be able to work with that. Oh, yes. Right. So now, as you can see, or you may not see, we're all through. And these are all our connections. Some of these are pretty close together. And it's going to be difficult if you're not very good at welding, soldering, sorry, bloody welding, to do this without making a mess. You can sort that out afterwards with a bit of solder braid and your soldering iron as well. And really you should use a thinner soldering iron than this, but this is all I've got. So I do not a bad job for the tools that I've got, so which ain't like loads, because I'm not into electronics or what have you, or this is just stuff I do because I can do it. I've got kids and they break stuff, so I fix it. Let's see that, look. That was an easy one, obviously. You want a nice ball of solder like that, so all on a pad, and it'll be nice and shiny. So you know you've got a good connection. That's proper. So now I'm going to go over. I'm going to solder all of these one at a time. I'll do another couple, and then we'll do it off camera, so you don't have to watch it all. But you see, I'm warming up the peg, and then I'm adding the solder, and then I'm moving away. So I'm warming up the peg, adding the solder, and moving away. Now that's left a big bit of excess there, but it's not connecting to the next pad, so that's still good. So I'll get these whipped together, and then we'll get it, I'll give you a look before I reassemble it, and then we'll get to testing it on the boys' Xbox. So I'll crack on with this because this is tedious, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, I believe that's it. I mean, there's a couple that aren't very pretty looking, but it doesn't appear to be any that have bridged. They all seem to have gone well first time, which is nice. Where's that bradawl? What's this piece here? Maybe a little join there. There you go. Let's take this peak down a bit because there's no need for that. And this one. Right. Should be sweet. Time to reassemble. So reassemble is obviously the arse end of what you've just done. Yeah. So you go back and have a look and rewind it or whatever you need to do. I'm going to put it back together and then we're going to go test it. So give me 5 minutes. You'll have to excuse the state of my son's bedroom. He is 15. But we've got the Xbox controller up, and as you see, what we had was a right stick that was stuck on fully, and as you see now, no issues. And like I said, I was concerned about the RB button. There was an issue with that. I fixed that off camera too. Perfect. So done. That's not bloody bad. Bloody camera angle's a bit shit then, sorry. Yeah, that's not bad. So I've taken, well, 2 controllers basically, both with a defective thumbstick, and made one good one out of them. Might save you a few quid, might help you with your kids' stuff or whatever, might not, you know what I mean. Pads are expensive nowadays, so yeah, you buy a pair of thumbsticks for 5 quid off at eBay, so it seems a no-brainer to me anyway. If you like the video, if you like this sort of thing, whatever, give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I do how-tos, I do car stuff, I do explore, I do all sorts of bollocks. So there's going to be something here for everyone. Subscribe, all that balls. If not, go fuck yourself as normal. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.